Good morning, everyone. It's 10 o'clock. I'm hoping that maybe a few more people will join us, but I will start the session so that we can keep on time. Good morning, and thank you for joining this Atlas session today. My name is Tara Duncan, and I'm the chair of Atlas, and together Atlas and Ambis in Prague are very glad to see everybody here today and are looking forward to a really insightful and interesting session. Normally at this point of year, we would be hosting our annual conference, and this year it was supposed to be held in Prague, but obviously 2020 has meant that things have been a little bit different. So instead, we've hosted a number of online events this week. We had one yesterday morning and one today, and Ambis have very kindly co-hosted this with us. And we hope that next year we'll be able to hold an annual conference in Prague, and hopefully we'll be able to meet there. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see. Atlas is an association which turns 30 next year. It is an association that encourages the collaboration and networking of those interested in tourism, specifically researchers, industry, teachers, students, and we encourage this through various forums, through seminars, through conferences, publications, special interest groups, and we have chapters in Europe, in Africa, in Latin America, in Asia, and in Oceania. So we are a global organization with contacts throughout. And we are continually looking at ways to engage and participate and work with tourism scholars, students, and industry to make sure that tourism is successful as it can be. So the session today is, I think, really exciting in that we're having industry speakers from 4 different places around Europe talk about the experiences over the summer. I'm not going to say much more except to say thank you very much for joining us. Welcome. We have the moderator Renee and Elżbieta based in Prague who will be looking after you during the session today. So thank you, welcome, enjoy the session, and talk to everybody soon.
Thank you very much, Tara, for the introduction. Good morning for those who are joining, and I see more and more people are joining, so that's great. My name is René van der Duim, and I am a former chair of Atlas. Tara followed me up, and I'm emeritus professor at Wageningen University, where we have 2 tourism programs, a bachelor in tourism and a master in tourism. I'm hosting this session together with Elżbieta. I would really encourage everybody to ask questions, but please use the chat. So you can send your questions to all or to Elżbieta, and then Elżbieta will invite you to voice your question, or if you don't want to do that, she will mention the question. We have 4 representatives of the tourism industry. I'm very glad that they all agreed to join this morning. We have Iris, I use first names if you don't mind. Iris from Zuid-Limburg, the province of Zuid-Limburg in the Netherlands. We have Elizabeth from Spain, from Catalonia. We have Jitka from Über-Oostenrijk, and we have Anders from Sweden. And I propose the following. We start with three quick rounds. The first round is that everybody introduces him or herself and also situates the place where he or she is working. The second round is on impact of COVID-19. What were the effects and impacts last summer or this summer and the last couple of months of the COVID-19 on their destination? And the third quick round is, okay, how did they mitigate? What were the main actions taken to mitigate some of those impacts? So after these three rounds, I think everybody has an idea of what was going on in the 4 destinations. And then we will have a discussion on similarities and differences, but also I really invite you to ask questions. So please use the chat to ask questions to Elzbieta, and she will forward the questions to the 4 speakers. And once again, thanks very much for joining. May I give the floor to Iris first to introduce herself and to situate Visit Limburg, Visit Zuid-Limburg. Not everybody knows the place. A lot of people know the place, but not everybody. So please go ahead.
Yeah, I hope after my speech everybody knows Zuid-Limburg. It's in the south of Holland. I am Iris Bakker, so I work for Visit Zuid-Limburg. It's the tourist board of Zuid-Limburg, and I'm responsible for the public relations of our organization. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, fine, no problem.
Okay. On a daily basis, I'm mainly concerned with business-to-business communication with our stakeholders, including the press. And I'm also involved in various region-wide projects, such as sustainability. In the recent months, I was also communication manager of the COVID crisis. We are the oldest tourist board in the Netherlands and have been around since 1885. Our mission is to promote tourism to and from South Limburg. We do this by doing destination management and marketing for all 16 municipalities in our area who pay us for it. But we earn 60% of our income ourselves, for example, through the contribution that our members pay us. 850 companies such as accommodations and attractions are affiliated with our tourism board. Our destination is located in the very south of the Netherlands, and its capital is Maastricht, also known for the Maastricht Treaty in 1993, which led to the creation of the European Union. In the Netherlands, our region is unique because of the hilly landscape, in contrast of the rest of the Netherlands, which is mainly flat. We are in the middle of a Euroregion with Germany and Belgium as direct neighbors. People who go on holiday here call it abroad in their own country because of the Burgundian character and the rich culture influenced by the Romans. So I hope my introduction was clear.
Thank you very much, Iris. Okay, I give the floor to Elizabeth, please.
Hi, hello, good morning, everyone from Lloret de Mar, from Costa Brava, over here in Spain, in Catalonia. I hope that you already know our destination, Lloret de Mar. Lloret de Mar is a destination that has been in the market since the latest 50s of the last century. So we've been there for more than 60 years already. We have a lot of experience in hospitality, and the main thing is that we are in a profound transformation. We have a very specific plan of reconversion. As you might know, if you know us, we're a mature destination, and we are trying to give a shift to our touristic model. My name is Elizabeth. I'm the managing director of the tourist board here in Lloret de Mar. I've been working in events for so many years, and I had the chance to come back to my hometown. And I started in the tourist board, specifically in the convention bureau, and I worked there for 5 years. The last 5 years I've been in charge of the whole tourist board, and we belong to the city hall. here in Lloret de Mar, and we're in charge of all the strategy and the management of the destination, which nowadays for us is absolutely key. Obviously, we do work in marketing, promotion, and sales. We have all and coordinate all the tourist offices in our destination, but I would like to insist that managing a destination that receives 1.3 million tourists every single year and that have nearly 6 million overnight stays is absolutely complex. So we have a huge challenge. And obviously 2020 has been absolutely tough and difficult, but also an opportunity. Many thanks.
Great. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Jitka, please.
Hello, good morning. My name is Jitka Zikmundová. I'm from the Czech Republic. Many greetings from Český Krumlov, where I'm now sitting in my house. Actually, at the moment, my job, full job, is in Upper Austria. That's why René said Jitka from Austria. I work for Upper Austrian Tourism, and I work as a market manager for the CEE markets, Czech Republic, Slovak, and Poland. But today I will not speak about Upper Austria. I will speak about the Český Krumlov because my, let's say, a smaller job, my mission is to be a town councillor of the town of Český Krumlov in Czech Republic and also a member of the board of directors of Český Krumlov Tourism. Český Krumlov, I would say, is the most popular tourist destination in Czech Republic. Usually we say after Prague. It's a small town, small settlement with 12,000 citizens. We have 5,500 beds around, and let's say until 2019, tourism boomed every year. We welcomed visitors, international visitors from the whole world. We say 1 million visitors a year. Please compare it, 12,000 citizens, 1 million visitors a year. Visitors, I say visitors, with over 300,000 overnight stays. Around 80% international guests, and half of these international guests are from Asia. Well known and very popular by Asian visitors. This 1 million visitors, a day trip visitors, groups, I would say low-cost Asian groups, 12,000, 15,000 buses per year, overcrowded streets, traffic jam, flats used as an Airbnb, touristy shops and restaurants. Over tourism, 2019. But anyway, Český Krumlov is a beautiful town. It's a charming city, charming town. It's a UNESCO World Heritage since 1992. And I would say this crisis this year give us the opportunity for a change.
We will discuss that in just a second. Yes. Thanks very much. Okay. Thank you very much for this introduction. Anders, please.
Good morning, everyone from Sweden. It's almost like the Melody Grand Prix this when we say hello, and this is the points from the Swedish jury. Yeah. Now, I will be brief about Sälen. Sälen is a destination in the middle of Sweden on the Norwegian border, actually. We have 20 minutes drive and we are in Norway. So we're in the mountains in the western part of Sweden. I'm head of a company called Destination Sälenfjällen, and my task is to operate and manage all questions and topics that relate to the entire industry. in our organization, we have 140 companies that share this perspective, that it's very useful to have one company that drives all the shared questions towards the local government, towards the government, towards the authorities like the police force and healthcare and stuff like that. Now, about the destination, we are the largest winter destination in the Nordic, in Northern Europe. We have 5 million annual guest nights, and on the other side of the border, we have Trysil in Norway, which is not as big, but almost as big. So together we have now starting to develop a new region, cross-border region called the Scandinavian Mountains. And in the middle of, on the very border, we have built an international airport. So it's a lot of things going on. But as I started off saying, we are primarily a winter destination, but all the infrastructure is there to be used and managed also in the summer season. And I will get back to this, because I think that compared to my other colleagues visiting this panel, I have very good experiences from Corona. I'll get back to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anders. Okay, so we have an idea of the 4 regions and the job description of the 4 participants in this discussion. Let's move to the second part of the introduction. Okay, we had since March, end of February, beginning of March, this pandemic spreading over Europe. What were the consequences? What was the impact, direct impact on tourism? Iris, could you give us some information about what happened in Limburg?
Yes, of course, yes. Of all the industries, the tourism sector is hit the hardest by the crisis in our area. South Limburg is the oldest tourist destination in the Netherlands, as I told you, and we are very dependent on tourism with a turnover of 2.2 billion per year and 22,210 direct jobs, exclusive thousands of freelancers and temporary workers. There are municipalities in the hilly country of which even 33% of the working population works in tourism. So we calculated the economic damage for South Limburg until April 28 at more than 237 million euros. That was a direct economic loss of turnover of 5.4 million per day in the touristic sector. But of course the damage was much greater, because not only the tourist sector is hit, but also the bakers, the butchers, the companies that supply to tourism, they also lose income. And in addition, COVID had a significant impact on event organizers and also the cultural sector, and of course the consumer confidence. In our own organization, we worked as much as possible from home. Our shops were closed, and very naturally, we were not allowed to promote our area. Our hilly country was even closed for day tourism for a month. So this required a new collaboration between us and the security region. They are responsible for disasters and crises in South Limburg. It was safety first. And as an organization, we also received an awful lot of questions from entrepreneurs, for which it was not clear which parts of the company could or could not be opened, and whether they were covered by certain financial arrangements. It was positive that the collaborations that arose between the trade associations at a national, regional and local level. And this also increased the reputation of the sector organizations. This resulted in all kinds of initiatives, about which more later. Fortunately, we noticed in the summer months that these initiatives have paid off, because it has been much busier than other months, other years. We mainly received many extra Dutch people who went on holiday in their own country. The impact of COVID in the coming months is uncertain, but it is certain that due to the weather, we will become dependent on indoor activities in the coming months. And that will directly affect sales because fewer guests are allowed to stay in one room. So yeah, we will see what's going to happen. And later on, I will tell you more about the operations we started to hit the crisis.
Yep. So to summarize, the first couple of months, you saw an enormous decline in demand, to put it that way, but the summer period was quite okay due to domestic tourism.
Yes, yeah, that's a perfect conclusion. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see if that is also the case in other destinations. Elizabeth, please.
Well, in our case, in Lloret, Denmark, we've been strategically working for so many years in the diversification of all our touristic products. And that means that we here in Costa Brava, 1 hour away from Barcelona, we do work all year round. It's obvious that we are a holiday destination and we do have a lot of visitors during high season, which is June, July, August for us. But we lost half of the visitors we do receive all year round from January to June. It's more than 550,000 people that we lost from January till June, and that means that that's around 2 million overnight stays that we lost in Lloret de Mar. Our destination, our municipality, it's 90% of our people works in services, in tourism, so it's absolutely dramatic, to put it in a clear way, in terms of the economical situation of a small town like us, because we are a very big destination, but we are very small. We have 38,000 inhabitants in Lloret de Mar, and the main thing is that the impact is so huge, and we will have such a tough winter, because obviously we managed to work in terms of tourism till more or less now or next week, as this weekend is bank holiday in Catalonia. But obviously all the work we do have generally in autumn will not be there finally, because the whole offer in the coast in Spain will be closed in that sense. So we're not just losing spring and part of the summer, we are also losing our fantastic autumns, as we do have absolutely fantastic weather over here in Costa Brava. Talking about summer obviously in terms of the whole season, it's absolutely key. We had 30% of the people that we usually have in July. So that's around 50,000 people, as we generally have 175,000 people. And mainly the drama comes with the overnight stays. We generate 1 million only in July, and we finally had around 180,000 overnight stays. So regarding tourists, we received 30%, and regarding overnight stays, we had around only 20% of the overnight stays that we have generally. We might say, obviously, that regarding all the difficult times we're going through, we had 66% of our accommodation open. Obviously, not all the hotels decided to open in such difficult circumstances, so we didn't have all our accommodation available. And in that sense, we do work with a lot of international markets, mainly European, and we had it was also an opportunity to change and to have a different perspective and work with domestic market. In that sense, people from Barcelona and the rest of the region of Catalonia, south of France, they are our main markets. But it's true that July and August we receive people from the Netherlands, from Belgium, from Germany, from the UK. So it was difficult for them to access, and obviously the perception of Spain during the whole crisis wasn't the best, as you might understand. So well, we'll see. We lost our, we're very strong in terms of sports, so we lost all our cyclists and sports tourism the whole spring, and also all the congresses and events that we've been fighting for the last 5 years obviously were cancelled. So it's not only a question of figures, it's also a question of the position of the destination and the reposition of our brand, and mainly that's the situation over here in Lloret de Mar.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. I see immediately in the chat two questions for you, and I think they are. It's better to directly pose the questions and give an answer, because one of the questions is from Arjan Pellis. When you speak of a lot of overnight stays, is it just for Lloret de Mar or the Costa Brava in total?
Only for Lloret de Mar.
Only for Lloret de Mar, even. So the situation in the whole Costa Brava is even much worse in terms of numbers. And the other question is, what happened with the Spanish domestic market? France survived this summer, and I think partly in the Netherlands also, due to the domestic market. How is that compared to Spain and the Costa Brava and Lloret de Mar?
Well, obviously, as the rest of as the other countries from all over Europe try to promote their own countries in order to stay and also have all the economic impact and all the tourism in our own country, but obviously we suffered that. That was the strategy in France, as in our case, France, it's our main international market. It means 23% of the total of visitors that we receive, not only in Lloret, also in Costa Brava, as we are right in the border with France. The thing is, obviously, all the Spanish that generally travel to Japan or Italy or wherever all around the world, obviously they stayed because of the situation. So every one of us, every single destination increased our numbers of domestic market. But it's true that you already know that regarding coast and regarding holiday and sand and beach destinations, the offer in Spain, it's amazing, because we had a debate with our offices, I mean the offices of Spain in Germany, for example. If all the Germans want to stay in Germany, there's no accommodation enough for them to stay in their own country. But on the other side, in Spain, we have 4 times the offer of accommodation for all of the Spaniards all over the country. So in that sense, it was too tough. We all increased and focused our strategy with the domestic market. But it's true that we are a destination that you all know that we've been working for the last 50 or 60 years with the rest of our colleagues from the rest of Europe. So in that sense, it's been tough. It's been a challenge, and there was not enough people for the touristic offer that the coast in Spain, mainland Spain, and also Balearic and Canary Islands, obviously for them with flight connections and all the fear and the perception of security, it was even tougher for all the islands. So we've been so lucky that we have very easy access by car, 1 hour away from France and 1 hour away from Barcelona.
Yep. Thanks very much, Elizabeth. Jitka, please.
Yes, you spoke about the domestic market. It's very interesting about the Czech Republic. What happened in Czech Republic? Czech Republic, the lockdown was 2.5 months, completely lockdowns. The overstays in Czech Republic, estimated overnight stays in Czech Republic in summer should be 50% compared to the year 2019. And what happened? The Czech Republic was the most popular destination of the summer of the domestic people, of the Czech visitors, Czech residents. Highlights nature, national parks, spas, mountains, small cities, hiking, cycling. Each crisis has winners and losers. In Czech Republic, loser, but please not a bad meaning, are, for example, Prague or Karlovy Vary. But the winner, for example, Český Krumlov, as a small city, maybe also as a brand. The summer 2020 in Český Krumlov, the best season ever in Castle of Český Krumlov. 46,000 visitors in July 20. It's 10,000 more than July 2019. We had a 90% occupancy rate in July and August. 99%, I would say 99% of guests were Czech residents, individuals and families. I call it a Hallstatt effect because it's the same as in Austria. The Czech people, Czech visitors wanted to see Český Krumlov again, Český, not Chinese. Sorry to say it. It's the same as a Hallstatt in Austria. The Austrian people overrun Hallstatt to see this charming small city at the Hallstatter See again without large, huge groups. In Český Krumlov, we had 0 buses. Compare it, 12,000 buses a year 2019, still 0 buses. But we had in summer traffic jam again. Because in 2019 until 2019 buses, cars, this year cars, because the individuals guests and families. But we had the free streets. And to speak about economic impacts, only the income to public sector. If I see the budget of the town as a councillor, we have to count approximately 25 million less income for the town budget in this year. It's about 1 million euro. Not always negative in this crisis. New ideas and new projects came, and as I said, it's really the opportunity for a new for the change. And about the jobs, we count in this small city about 3,000 jobs are created in tourism or by tourism, dependent, independent, so directly or indirectly. Sorry, I wasn't saying directly, indirectly.
Oh, thank you very much. So a little bit, maybe a little bit similar to what happened in the province of South Limburg. Mm-hmm. Shift to domestic tourism, individual tourism. And that market helped to survive the summer a bit, although there were, of course, a smaller number of tourists.
But it was a summer, really, these 2 months, nice, happy summer 2 months. And now, sure, the prediction for next month for the weekends is okay. It's nice, but as the colleagues said, the winter will be maybe hard. We will see the winter, what's coming.
Okay, thanks very much. Anders, please.
Very interesting to listen to you all our situation has been quite similar to the one in the Netherlands and Czech Republic. Traditionally, our destination has been, our visitors are mainly like 98% domestic. But the challenge we had when we had the corona hitting a winter destination like ours was to convince our traditional visitors that we were also something to consider in the summertime. Because we have all the infrastructure, we have wonderful mountains for hiking, we have the streams where you can fish, and etc., etc. And we also promoted the fact that we have cabins. It could be it is very safe to stay in a cabin, self-catered cabin. You can spend the day with your family in the mountain. You could go bicycling in the mountain, come back to your cabin with your little herd, no others, and cook your dinner, and you feel completely safe. And this was something that we marketed quite heavily in the spring. And it also resulted that we had almost double as many visitors in the summertime than we usually do. We had restaurants that usually are open just in the winter season for stuff for the winter guests that could be open in the summertime. So we had a tremendous, actually, corona success in our destination. Now it's a matter of how to harvest and to keep this. Now we had visitors that experienced our destination in the summer that never had before, and now it's a matter for us. Our challenge now is to have them come back for the next summer season. Just a few words in terms of the upcoming winter. We are very, very closely in contact with the national government and the local government in terms of also promoting this fact that skiing, alpine skiing, cross-country skiing in the wintertime is, I have problems to find something that is more corona safe than skiing in a slope. It should be sailing on the Atlantic or something, but the bottlenecks for all our destinations, it doesn't matter if it's Catalonia or if it's Netherlands or if it's Czech Republic, the bottleneck for a tourist destination is not the activities themselves. It's after the activity, when you go shopping, when you go back to have dinner, when you go down to the supermarket. That's where the bottlenecks are. Even if you stay in a self-catered cabin, sooner or later you will have to face a crowd of people. And our challenge on a destination level, and I think it's something that goes for all destinations that are dependent on tourism, how to handle these bottlenecks. For instance, a supermarket store. We have to have lines outside in order not to make it crowded inside, etc., etc. So our challenge is not to have the visitors. I think that we're pretty safe in terms of getting the visitors. The challenge is to have them on a safe basis after the activity.
Thank you. Thanks very much, Anders. A situation which is a little bit different from the others in that sense that you were not relying on an international market, but actually already fully on a domestic market, which just continued this summer. And so you didn't have a big loss in terms of numbers.
No, we didn't. But we tried to, since we are so dependent on the domestic market, that's why we built the airport. That was the challenge. Was the aim for the airport was to build an international group, and we have it's a challenge. Imagine all you guys listening to this. Open up. If I came to you and said I will open up an airport 2020 international market. A couple of months after we opened, we had international lines with SAS. We had London, we had Copenhagen, Aalborg. We had a lot of other charter lines and private aviation. And suddenly Corona hit us. I'm sure you would like to change position in running that airport, because that's a challenge in itself. So that's our main struggle now, how to in parallel working with the domestic industry to truly get the international groups. And I can tell you we are right now collaborating with the Dutch charter company called BBI, and their USP is that this is Corona safe country. So you fly from Groningen in Holland up to our airport in order to have your winter holiday in a safe manner. Mm-hmm. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have a but that's out of the. We have a similar debate in the Netherlands. We were supposed to open a new airport just for holiday flights, and that has now been postponed, of course, due to the corona crisis. But so this is also renegotiated. But in your case, the airport was already open, so
Exactly.
there's no.
It was already in place.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Okay, we thanks very much. We have an overview of what the impact of the corona was on this summer, especially, and of course on April, May, which was much more severe, also due to lockdowns. And now we go through the third part, but I would like to invite those who are listening to ask questions. Then we get a more lively debate. Otherwise, it's just between the five of us. So let's open up also for questions from the audience. But the third round was about, okay, what did you do? And of course, I can imagine that you did a lot. So we can talk for maybe an hour or 2 hours about it. But can you highlight one or two of the main things you did to try to address this crisis? So what was your focus when you were, the moment you became aware somewhere in March, April, oh, this is going to be bad, this is going to be troublesome. What did you do? What was your main strategy to mitigate the crisis? Iris, please.
Thank you, René. Yeah, first we have set up a task force with industry organizations and worked closely together with them, so that we could bring financial aid to entrepreneurs to the attention of the ministry at the national level, but also at the regional level, where we jointly researched the impact of the crisis on entrepreneurs and where we supported each other's actions. Yeah, I have a few more for you, but I will tell it in a short way. So not longer than 3 minutes.
Okay.
Second, we have made contact with the safety region, initially about what we could and could not communicate to our visitors, but also about new emergency regulations that had a major impact on our entrepreneurs. For example, when the whole country was closed. And at a later stage, we supported a campaign in which the rules were again brought to the attention, the COVID rules, by famous people in Limburg. André Rieu, for example, everybody knows him. He contributed to this. And at the national level, we also had contact with the ministry, who needed us to find out what questions there were in the industry. So that was quite interesting as well. So new collaborations, I would call it, and lobbying, and use our network. I think in the most important things. As a third, we have advocated at national level for help to the industry at the National Board of Tourism and Conferences, NBTC it's called. Yep. Normally they do campaigns abroad to get international people to the main destinations in Holland. But they helped us with a campaign to stimulate Dutch people to celebrate holiday in their own country. We ourselves have launched a new campaign on behalf of the province. And we organized that campaign together with all the 4 tourist boards in Limburg. And the focus of the campaign was to promote the unknown pearls of the province, to stimulate the dispersion. So that was also a new thing, unknown pearls. We also examined the impact of the corona crisis, as I told you, on tourism in our region. And we recommended highlighting a number of policies from the 2030 tourism vision of our region, to guide our region better through the crisis. For example, we noticed that many residents walk in their own environment during COVID. So we suggested to innovate the structure of the walking routes. And we also started promoting Bidroom, a competitor of Booking, to help entrepreneurs combat unfair competition. I have two more for you.
Well, let's leave it for now. But very important, I think, if I summarize, you started lobbying.
Yeah.
Lobbying towards the national government, the National Bureau of Tourism, local municipalities, etc.,
Yes.
to create energy to address the issues you were confronted with.
Yeah, to help the entrepreneurs, of course. Yeah. Mainly. Yeah, we have shared as much as our knowledge as possible with entrepreneurs as well, and the municipalities also, by setting up a Corona Knowledge Bank. It was on our corporate website, and we gave our corporate communication channels also more attention. So at last, we continue to develop our event and attraction ticket system. We have an own ticket system for events, but also for museums, for example, and attractions. And we did that to allow companies to use our reservation system for mandatory guest registration. And it's becoming more important in the coming months, because we have Christmas, and mainly our area, it's like Valkenburg, it's Christmas town. We are in all the lists, international lists of going to Valkenburg with Christmas. And in the early days, it was very quiet here in Valkenburg in the winter times. But then we thought about a new strategy. And it was Christmas markets. We started with it. It's in the caves here, so that's very special and different from other countries. It became bigger and bigger and bigger. And now we get a lot of questions from journalists. What are you going to do? And this and that. And it will be more difficult, of course, because less people can go inside. But then our ticket system helps us. So we also did a bit of product development.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much. In the meantime, sorry, Als-Peter, that I take the initiative, but Chinny Young, from all the way from China, did ask a question. Chinny, can you connect so that you ask the question, because it was a question for all four presenters. Chinny, are you still there? Chinny? No, well,
yeah, hi.
Hi, oh, that's Chinny. Hi, Chinny, please.
Hi. Right, so I'd like to ask this question, right? Because it does seem for many destinations, I mean, all the way from Singapore, where I come from, to different parts of Southeast Asia, that domestic tourism, and now I hear in Europe as well, that domestic tourism is championed as some sort of a solution or savior for tourism industries in a time of COVID. So I'm curious. I mean, on the ground, is there something else that you are seeking? I mean, is there other creative solutions to this? On top of turning to domestic tourists. So really something that I'm curious about, and I'm happy to really learn something innovative. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks very much, Chinny. Nice to see you after all these years. I passed the question also to Elizabeth. So Elizabeth, please, can you respond to my initial question, but also take on board the question of Chinny Young. And I will particularly also interested in one of the first remarks you made, that you said, well, your destination is anyway in a sort of profound transformation. That was one of the first remarks you made and maybe also to what extent and in which way this crisis speeded up this transformation or gave new impetus to this transformation.
Rene, first of all, I'll share what we think it's absolutely strategic in terms of what we and all the team of all the tourist board did from 13th of March when we were locked down till the end of June. We did a lot of things. We obviously had to change completely all the content. We had all our communication through social media, through our platforms, absolutely everywhere. We had to change that urgently and quick. But one of the best decisions we take is that the first week of the lockdown, on the 16th of March, we decided to work with one of our press company that we work with, and we decided to start a very, very intensive work in order to work with the rest of the private sector and the rest of the locals and the labours and absolutely everyone in town in order to have a comprehensive plan of measures, prevention measures of COVID-19. In that sense, it was difficult because absolutely every single day we had different information and the uncertainty was as we all know, total. So in that sense, we started this process of 8 weeks of work with interviews with absolutely everyone in town. I mean, represented by associations in terms of retail and hoteliers and incoming agencies, transport, absolutely everyone. And we developed the first comprehensive plan of prevention measures in Spain. We presented it on the 7th of May, and our main goal was obviously to be ready. When, we didn't know, but whenever it was, we had to be ready. We only have services and tourism in our town, and it was absolutely key to be ready and also to communicate that we were ready. So we invest, just for you to have an idea, around 15,000 euros in all this process of work that we all did from home, all the team and everyone involved from the private sector and other local agents. That investment regarding the press conference we organized on the 7th of May gave us an impact of around 2 million euros, because sometimes it's not only the work that you do, it's also the chance and how lucky you are in terms of choosing the exactly moment to communicate what. So in that sense, we worked very hard, but we chose the best moment in order to send that message of safety, that message of a destination that has been working hard. And one of the most important points of that comprehensive plan was based in the workers of the tourist sector, of all the people working in hotels, shops, restaurants, bars. We organized through Zoom and a very complete educational plan regarding COVID measures, and we had 8,500 people from Lloret de Mar participating via Zoom to this process of education and preparation of the destination. As I said, we are 38,000, so 8,500 people took part of this educational plan. That for us was absolutely exceptional, and we're so proud of it. So we work in a lot of different measures, mainly, as you can understand, for a destination like us in Costa Brava with the amazing beaches and coves that we have. Measures in our beaches were the most interesting thing for the media, and also something very important for our potential clients. So in that sense, all the measures that we implemented, and the segmentations by profiles, seniors in one side, families in the other side, and then adults on another side in our main urban beaches, was one of the most communicated measure in our town. Obviously, we did a lot of other things, and we also invested in advertising, mainly focused in that domestic market, and mainly focused in the city of Barcelona. But in order to share results, it was much worth it to invest that 50,000 in an serious and comprehensive plan, working together with all the stakeholders and agents in the destination, than investing 120,000 in the advertising campaign. As we are small, we don't have millions in order to invest in advertising. So we did, because we thought we had to. But I just wanted to highlight this work that we did all together with the comprehensive plan.
Yeah, very, very interesting. And do you have a response? Do you have a response to Chin Yong?
Yeah, sorry. Regarding your the question you René first asked, regarding our reconversion plan that we've been in for the last 6 or 7 years. Obviously, that helped us quickly to understand that without all the nightlife, because it was closed, and without all the small bit of young tour operators that we do still have from the Netherlands and Germany, without them, we have had a better destination, a better satisfaction, and a better experience for our visitors, and very important, for the people of Lloret de Mar, the ones that suffer the touristic pressure every single year for the last 60 years. So in that sense, it's been an opportunity, because we've been having increasing the number of families that we have during summer. We've been giving another image absolutely different to the clients or nearby, that they have a perspective of a very international destination in our side. And we've had a lot of success with all the cultural activities we offered regarding our cultural heritage, and also all the open air outdoor activities that we did in our amazing environment. Snorkel for families, Nordic walking, cycling, absolutely everything. And that had their moment of, it was their moment for nature, for culture, and it's been a huge opportunity. Even, I mean, nevertheless, we lost a lot of people, but it's been a huge opportunity, as we've been trying to reposition our destination and our brand, this mature destination, for the last 10 years at least. So in that sense, that was the speed, but we must be honest and also say that we had very important investments for 2021, and we will not have them, at least in 2021. Let's hope that we will have it for 2022.
Very interesting. I think how you involve the whole population and all the entrepreneurs in your process, first of all, and also how this event this summer also fitted in a larger process of transformation of the destination. I'm happy to know the destination quite well, actually. I've been a couple of times to Tossa de Mar and also saw Lloret de Mar and the difference between the two, so very interesting. I'm very tempted to continue the discussion, but I would like to give the floor to Jitka and also ask her, and also take into account the question of Chin Yong about, of course, the transformation to domestic tourism is an obvious one and was a successful one, but is there more? Is there more than that? And please also in that sense, take us through one or two of the main things you did. Of course, I understand the DMO has a whole list of actions, but what was really key in your approach, like Elizabeth was explaining, and also Iris?
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you. The first during the lockdown, we communicated. We communicated. We had to communicate it. You have to communicate it. It's you are not dead. If you communicate, you are not dead. Even if there is a lockdown, we used really social media, online website. We told stories. We invited to virtual tour. And parallel, we spoke with our tourism businesses and culture institutions. What will we do? The plan B for post-COVID time. And it was a clear, we have to shift our budget, our activities from international market to domestic market, because it was clear the international market is maybe for the next half year for us no theme. It was I would say a very happy time because this is a situation when the projects and ideas are created and launched. These projects which has been or have been always postponed. This crisis create really the new energy. So we could create the Český Krumlov card. Český Krumlov card is inclusive, all-inclusive card, mostly used by individuals. We could create it a very short time, this card, to the Český Krumlov family card. The local guides, the professional guides, totally without job because of lack of groups or zero groups, they created a new town walks for families and for Czech people. The culture institutions and organizer, the big festivals were cancelled. So again, the creativity, and the whole summer we had the open air festival of concerts every week in the brewery garden, very spontaneous, all music styles, and one project which I appreciate the most, it's called Krumlovské baráky. Krumlovské, the Český Krumlov buildings in the old town, and it is a town map made by locals. The local people, students, young students, guides, local people created the map for no budget, let's say. No budget, for nothing, and they really give this map with interesting stories about Český Krumlov houses, and the town city. We spoke with the entrepreneurs. As I said, the 3,000 jobs in the small town. It's a lot of jobs. For example, our measure was the reduction of the town taxes, because we can decide about the local taxes, or we postponed the payment of some rental offices and spaces to winter. After the summer season, we will see how the situation is. And the question of Chin Ong, what's new ideas? Domestic, Czech domestic market can't save Czech tourism. It's impossible. We have this advantage. We are on the border with Austria. The Český Krumlov is 30 kilometers from the border of Austria. And in the next month, in the next time, we will also work in Austria, Germany, maybe the Slovak Republic, to attract these neighbor markets, European neighbor markets. We can communicate still. I hope it will stay. We are safe. We would like to attract individuals and families. It's our potential, and one project, and I'm happy we gain 100 million crowns now for the trans-regional, or let's say international cycling track called Vltavska along the Vltava River, because Český Krumlov is a town on the Vltava River. And there will be a connection between Danube, the Vltava River, Danube, Dunajska cycle path, to Vltava-Vltavska cycling path or cycle path, because this Danube River cycle path or track is very attractive, it's well known, it's the cycle path of Europe, and it's for the future our big chance to get new clients. And just a small example, a crisis create new segment, new markets, campers, mobile home.
Yeah.
The Czech Republic, Czech people, it's a boom. In Czech Republic, it's a boom. Who has the money bought the campers.
Yeah. I read recently in the Dutch journal the same article about Italy.
Yeah.
In Italy, everybody is buying a camper now.
Yes, everybody is buying camper. Who has money buys camper. And we hadn't the park places for campers until now. And now we have to build or replace, or I don't know what, it's an investment, park places for campers. It's a new market, why not? New chance.
Thanks. So the crisis also gave new energy and new ideas for new product development and new markets. Great. Anders, and then in the meantime, there have been posed a couple of questions, but we will go to the questions just after Anders has given his contribution, and then we go to the questions of the audience. Please, Anders.
Well, first of all, I have to comment on campers. Jitka, it's a wonderful thing for someone, but for me, it's a disaster. I want to be in a tent in the mountain. Now, what we did, similar to what Elizabeth told you about, as soon as the crisis hit us, we invited the local government, the regional government, the health authorities, the police force, all the companies that are in our destination company, for something that we have addressed as dialogue meeting, in order to have a shared perspective of what's going on, a shared view of what's going on. We have never promised to give all the answers, but we have promised, and we still do, run these dialogue meetings on a monthly basis in order to keep track and have a mutual perspective of the present and the near future. What's going on? We talk with the healthcare system. We talk with the regional government. They tell us about the local legislation. We have sometimes also included national government in order to tell us what they think will be around the corner, so to speak, so that we all have a shared perspective. And these dialogue meetings has been very successful. And throughout Sweden, people that's the best way of knowing if you have a good idea, if someone tries to steal it. And this is what actually happens. Several winter destinations throughout the mountain chain from south to north has started doing these dialogue meetings, very inspired by us. And it's perfect because it gives everyone the same information at the same time. Now, moving on to Shini Yong's question. As I told you initially, we have been focusing on moving the major share of our visitors who are Swedes domestic into not just winter but also into summertime. So that process has been receiving speed because of the corona. So in that perspective, it has been good because we have exposed our winter guests to our summer options. And in the long term, when corona is over, as I told you earlier, we have an international airport, and we are focusing, as we always did in the planning of this airport, in international visitors. And these are not just UK, Holland, the Netherlands, and northern Germany and Poland, but it's also Southeast Asia. We are in close contact with airlines that has, for instance, Finnair, which has a hub in Helsinki. They have lots of Southeast Asians flying in, and it's 1 hour flight from Helsinki to our destination. So we are looking both inwards, moving winter Swedes to become summer Swedes, but we also look in using the airport in a structured fashion when this disaster is over. Is that, Chini Ong, is that the answer to your question?
Unmute. Chini, unmute.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, yeah, I do get what I wanted. I'm also thinking about, I mean, if there's anything like this that you are thinking about, the use of tourism infrastructure more by locals, immediate locals, and also, unilateral travel bubbles or some kind of select country travel bubbles. Are you all thinking about things like this as well?
Yes, to answer your question quickly, I mean, what we have said, airplanes goes 2 ways. So we have the opportunity to have people flying. For instance, this is a good example. Now, this charter I told you about from Groningen in Holland, we will offer the local community to go the other way, our region, in the winter.
Okay. Alsbeda, there are a couple of questions, I think, from those who have listened to the last hour. Can you guide me through those questions?
Yes, we have 4 questions. The first question is from Tara, who had to go before the end of the session, and she would like to ask all of the speakers how the regions have dealt with the national organizations, national DMOs or tourism industry associations or unions.
Okay, so Anders, maybe you start. What was the connection with the national bodies in tourism?
I'd say limited. We have such a strong position in ourselves, and size is important, of course, and we are the biggest winter destination. So we haven't had the need for the middleman. We have gone directly to the government, so to speak.
Okay. Jitka?
It was. I would say it was a good cooperation. It was the support mainly in communication. Český Krumlov is safe. Český Krumlov lives. Come and visit Český Krumlov. The Czech tourism organized a campaign. Česko světové, Czech Republic, the global, it means they showed pictures of the main attractions, global attractions. I don't know, for example, Danube river, and we have a Vltava river in Czech Republic. To compare the Czech Republic as a destination, domestic destination is also attractive to boost this domestic tourism. And in post-COVID time, they help us a lot with organizing of tours of journalists, journalists such as Keegan from Austria, from Germany, from Slovak Republic, from these neighbor countries, which are in our interest, definitely. And they help us also to organize some events, culture events.
Elizabeth, thank you, Jessica. Elizabeth?
Sorry, was a question about the relationship with other administrative bodies in
National
our region?
organizations.
Okay. Well, in that sense, well, obviously, in our case, because the brand of Barcelona and well, the city of Barcelona and all the cases and the situation that they have had in the same way that Madrid had, it was important for us that we didn't have any cases or any problems to work with the regional government of Catalonia and the Catalan Tourist Board in order to have the exactly argumentary in order to send the right messages to our markets. And communication has been the main question in which we've been coordinated, mainly because of the number of cases and the situation all over Spain. We did mainly with Catalan Tourist Board. We also work with Costa Brava Tourist Board in our region, Girona. And it's been very, very useful in that sense to work with, we belong to an association and an alliance of the 8 most important destinations in Spain. So we've been sharing a lot of experiences and well, successful or maybe not that successful, but it's very interesting to share experiences with and benchmark with destinations like us. So we've been permanently coordinated more or less with everyone all over the country.
Okay, thanks. Iris?
Yes, I think I already told you about it. Yeah, we had a lot of contact with our entrepreneurs so that we could listen. What were the problems in the market field? And Anja Nivira, she's the director of our organization. She sent also a letter to the ministry, because some regulations and financial agreements were not very honest for entrepreneurs. So she heard from a lot of people here in the area, well, can you help us with that, because it's not fair and everything. And then it helped really also that not only we, but all the tourist boards in the Netherlands, almost all of them, are a member of it's called Tourist Board of the Netherlands, VVV it's called. We have contact with the hotel and catering industry organization. And with the Recron is for the day attractions. They are also united, and we had a task force together. We are already organized in Hospitality Holland, we call it, and it's a serious partner of the ministry in The Hague to discuss and to lobby, and so that was very fortunate for us that it already succeeded, and in this time it became more and more important. But
I think that's an interesting side effect of this pandemic, that all of a sudden tourism became on the political agenda in the Netherlands, which has never been the case, put it that way. But due to the crisis, all of a sudden, I think the ministry and other organizations had to think about the role of tourism and the role of tourism entrepreneurs in our economy. I think that's a nice side effect of this whole.
Yes, it is. René, I also have a question for Anders, if I can ask.
Fine, sure.
Yes.
And maybe Elizabeth, Jitka, and Anders, maybe you open up your screen so that we can see each other and continue the debate, and then we go also back to Elzbieta because there are more questions.
Yeah.
But please, Iris, take the initiative to ask a question.
Thank you. Yes, I already told you that Christmas is very important in our region, and we have 3 pillars that are 2 big markets in the Marl Caves, and there is a Christmas parade, and the Christmas parade is not going on. And also one market, it's the commercial market. They 2 weeks ago they decided to cancel the market because they told us that less people, I think half of the people of last year, are allowed in the cave in one moment. So less people and less sales. So it's not very wise to go on with it. But in a winter area, I like to ski. I haven't been in Sweden yet, but maybe in the future. I'm not living in Groningen, but I'm imagining how it will be, because also in ski lift you have a problem with the amount of people, and also in restaurants. It will not be so successful as normal. And the hotels, you will have some slots, and I want to know how you are going to manage that.
Good question. First of all, you're very welcome to fly from Groningen, of course. I'll spend 2 days with you for free. Now we have 3 basic groups that we address in our offer from Cell and Destination. One is children, families with children. Second is party people, and the third one is the meeting industry, conference. Conferences is gone in the sense bigger groups than 50. Party is gone because nightclubs and after skis is just to forget about. So we have left families with children, and they are not as dependent on corona restrictions as the other 2, as you can imagine. Okay, what we do, we try now in these dialogue meetings that I just told you about and referred to, that we talk about with the lift owners, that the line for the ski lift, it should not be thick, it should be long. And in the restaurants, we have limitations of number of seats that can be used, and we have to have space between the tables. It's very detailed, and that's why we work so closely with the local and regional government, because they will supervise that this is followed. And if it's not followed, it will be there will be the restaurant or whatever have to close. And we run this dialogue meetings because it's very important that the entire destination, the entire area is fulfilling what we agree upon in these dialogue meetings, or else it will affect everyone. One restaurant that is not following the limit, the regulation. Sorry?
Can I give? Oh, sorry.
Okay, a restaurant that is not following what we have agreed will have effect on everyone else. So in a way, it's almost dictatorship in these dialogue meetings, that things that we agree is almost by religion that we have to follow.
But excuse me, but the revenues, it will go down if you compare it to last year. How do you cope with that?
The thing is that compared to you, since we have been a winter destination for so long, we have seasonal employment, and we can limit the numbers that we employ in order to meet demand. That's the easiest answer.
Elzbieta, I think there were 2, someone want to make an intervention, Sheila Madsen, and there's a question of Patterson, I think.
Yes.
Sheila.
Hello. Can you see me? Oh, maybe I'm not in front of the camera here.
Now you are.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm Sheila. Just to introduce myself very quickly. I'm from Ireland and I work in Wren School of Business in Brittany. and I'm a keen participant in the Gastronomy Tourism Atlas group, which I very much hope to attend again in February, where we'll all be hoping to support tourism in Catalonia. So it just struck me a few reflections. A lot of the solutions that people have been putting forward are based on the variety of offer. So there were loads of different solutions. So the variety in the offer and the variety in the market. So people were saying how family markets were more kind of accessible this year in a lot of different places. And it also struck me in France and in Ireland as well. The variety in accommodation seemed to be an important factor. People were talking about camping cars, and people were in France certainly renting homes. Airbnb style did well compared to hotels. And then variety of markets in domestic markets and international markets. And also the winter and the summer, places where you can spread that offer and get different styles of holidays, different styles of access to the destination through different forms of transport, and different types of accommodation seem to have advantages here. And I think all destinations need to be thinking about how they can increase the variety of their offers as well as the variety of their markets. And it also strikes me that in this situation, we are faced with the need to look closer at how we can build attachment to our destinations and loyalty. Because I think sometimes we feel that the domestic market might be attached to a place more than the international market. That's not my experience, and I think something that's getting attention in research now, that people, we're looking for meaningful holidays, and destinations even far away from us can be very meaningful to us. I know just from my personal experience, I had planned to go to Andalusia because I was attached to that destination, and nothing except the borders closing, which was on the cards at one stage from France. The border nearly closed between France and Spain, which would have been a disaster for Spain. But nothing other than that would stop me from going to where I wanted to go because of the attachment to that destination. So I think we have to think about the effective, how we can increase, attachment to our destinations and loyalty. And the other thing is, I think in light of all our feelings about sustainable destinations and all that, this crisis has pointed to the need to avoid a reputation for overcrowding. Inland destinations in France did quite well, better than usual in lots of places, because a lot of people did want to go to the coast, but people who were afraid of crowding in the coast avoided it. And we know that destinations like Venice suffer a lot from overcrowding. So I think we could take advantage of this situation to reflect more on the disadvantages of being associated with a place where everybody wants to go. So they were just 3 reflections I had, and how we can increase, I think place attachment decreases anxiety for people. I grew up in Ireland, and we're all familiar with the anxiety people had, say in the 80s, of going to Northern Ireland, okay? But because I would be familiar, I lived an hour away from Northern Ireland, I didn't suffer from that anxiety. So if we can build loyalty to destinations, people know where they're going back to, and they can judge for themselves whether they would feel safe in that place, even in a crisis.
Thanks very much, Sheila. Before I give the floor to the 4 speakers, Robert, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Can you also, ask your question or your intervention?
Yeah, it's actually a question. I mean, only a year ago, tourist researchers all over the world were occupied with issues such as over-tourism and climate change. And then the COVID-19 hit us, and the corona pandemic started a wave of corona-related tourism research. Some of these early publications predicts that the pandemic should affect tourism in several ways, which all the presenters in the panel have confirmed today. And now to my question. One recurrent statement in this research is that the pandemic could lead to a bigger green awareness among tourists and a movement towards a more sustainable travel. It's very common in this research. But from what I hear, you haven't really highlighted that you noticed this among your visitors. So how could we understand this? Would you say that the researchers are wrong here? And before you answer, I would like to remind you that there are several researchers in the meeting. But do you see the signals among your visitors?
Yeah, we're running a little bit out of time, but I think it's a great question to finalize and sum up this discussion. Let me put it in that way. Next summer, 2021, and let's suppose and hope the virus is gone, there will be a medicine, or there will be a vaccine, or whatever. What is your destination in a year from now? And are the ideas about sustainability, which are already going on for years, will they be translated? Is there an opportunity to indeed change your thinking about the destination in terms of sustainability, or are we going to business as usual? And Jitka is pointing, so we go from Jitka, and then of course Anders, Elizabeth, and Iris. Just the final round. Take the question of Robert in the back of your mind, and let's look at a year from now. Jitka.
I'm so sorry that I'm so thinking, because I have in 2 minutes another meeting. Sorry, it's so now. What is it? The question about the sustainability. Robert and Český Krumlov, we are now on the tourism intensity, with the tourism intensity back as of 15 years ago. Approximately, we estimate it 15 years ago, and it's for us the question: shall we repeat the mistakes we had done the 15 years ago, and in this time, or could we, or there is a lessons learned? Definitely, there is a lessons learned. In our town, in our destination, it is with transport. We need definitely a transport solution. As I said, the buses, we have 0 buses at the moment, but we have still a traffic jam by cars. And now we are working on the new transport system project, how to boost the public transport around the city, how to boost and attract transport, public transport, maybe also connection with Prague, with Linz, with Vienna by public transport. And the guest attitude, a green guest. I don't know, my feeling in the last few months is we produced so many waste, plastic waste, due to this pandemic measures, maybe more than ever. And I hope this crisis will show us it was really extraordinary situation, and I'm very happy in Czech Republic. This year, I hope this year there should be prohibited by law, a new law, not using the one-way plastic tools for events. I mean, plates or all this small stuff. And I hope it help us also in tourism. and
Okay, so we leave it to this, Jitka, for the moment.
so my time is over. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Because it's a such huge agenda and a huge theme. We could speak 1 hour more. Thanks for inviting me. I wish all my colleagues good luck.
Okay. Thanks very much for joining. And maybe, well, we had in July, we had a Zoom with tourism scholars discussing the situation of pandemic and tourism. And by that time, we proposed to meet again maybe in half a year or something like that to see if things have really changed. Maybe we can do the same with the 4 of us and see, let's say January, February next year, what happened and how the situation has changed. But I thank you very much, Jitka. I now give the floor to Anders.
Thank you. And bye to all. I'm leaving.
Bye-bye.
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 Robert, I will be very brief. I think it's a very good question. To us in the visiting industry in the mountains of Sweden, I don't speak only for Sälen, I also speak for Lloret and Vemdalen and other places. Environment issues, that question has been a mega trend for many years. And
of course in relation to your airport as well, I guess.
Yes, of course. And it's both supply and demand driven. Our customers, our guests are expecting us to be environmentally oriented, and we meet that demand in our supply chain. So I think it's not that this will affect it. The corona situation will not have a major impact because the impact is already big. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a dog. That's the barking. So move over to someone else.
Ellie or Rene, you are muted.
Oh, I'm still sorry. Elizabeth, please.
So fine. As we do all know, sustainability is not only regarding our environment and our natural heritage, etc. I would like to focus in that sense about the social sustainability in our case. We hope we have work for that thousands of people of our destination that couldn't work during 2020, and with all the difficulties that that meant for their families. And in terms of our offer, I would like to say something that I can say over here with our stakeholders, or I cannot say it clear as I can today with you, researchers and other destinations and people from the university and the academy. COVID-19, Corona-19 will bring natural selection. So they'll be part of the offer that will die. And in that sense, if you're not bringing an added value proposition related to the sustainability, related to culture and nature, and making the experience of everyone visiting us, and obviously people living in our town, making their life and their experience better, there's no other chance that to die. Because the demand is it is demanding, and in that specific sense, it's maybe not that automatic in that maybe in the offer that we have in Spain, but obviously I think Corona-19 speed everything up in that sense, and we will lose part of the offer, and we hope we keep the quality one, and the one with added value, and the one that is committed to sustainability.
Thanks, Iris. Finally.
Yes, hello, Robert. We do already a lot for sustainable surroundings here. We have a vision 2030, and all the aspects of sustainability are in it. And we decided with COVID, to focus on the projects which are possible in that. So, for example, you see a lot of initiatives at the moment, and we are also working on it to get local products, for example, on the menu in the restaurants here, so that we can help the farmers and people in Limburg get more conscious about their own harvest actually. So that's what we are going to promote more and more together with a lot of other organizations. Also a lot of attention for the landscape, because it's sometimes it scales up here, so you only get the same views, and well, we support the farmers that they will get an honest how do you call it, vergoeding, share for doing the good work for our landscape. And also, for example, I think it's important with Corona, and it will be more important in the future, to get more inhabitants, get more influence of inhabitants, because it has been very busy. And it's when there are new initiatives, it's really important to join, how to join the inhabitants, because they have to live here. And for example, our hill country is very crowded with a lot of cyclists and a lot of motor bicycles, and that's also a reason why the hill country closed for a month, because it was much too busy with the motorcyclists. And the inhabitants are getting more better and more important role in that. So I think that's also green awareness. And in our communication, we had more contact with inhabitants as well, because the Limburg, it's a long province. So we try to do what's possible to get people from the north of Limburg to the south, where we are, and also in the coming months. And then in our campaigns, the unknown sightseeings are becoming more and more important. So I think it's new, and we have to go on with it, because we know already that the famous spots here are overcrowded. So we have to manage our region more, I think, and also as an organization. So you see that we do not only marketing in the last couple of years, but we do more and more managing the destination.
I think it's one thing has become clear out of this discussion the last 1.5 hours. Indeed, this transformation from, let's say, purely marketing organization to destination management organization. I think we have seen some very good examples of that from you, but also from Elizabeth and Anders, how this COVID crisis increased even this role immediately, making connections with all the stakeholders and communicate with them, but also get input on how to address these issues. I'm sure that Robert has more to ask about this, but we are really out of time. So I would like to close this session. I first would like to thank Iris, Elizabeth, and Anders. Thanks very much for participating. I think it was very good to hear a voice from those who are working on a daily basis to mitigate this crisis and to think about the future of tourism in their destination. Thanks a lot for sharing your thoughts. And indeed, hopefully, maybe in half a year, we can join again and see what happened then, and if things have fundamentally changed or not. So thanks a lot. I also would like to thank Elżbieta and Andre from Ambis in Prague, for setting up this meeting, for organizing, for helping me out with the technicalities, etc. Thanks very much. And indeed, we all hope that next year we could come to Prague and visit the beautiful town and have an Atlas meeting again, in which we can continue some of the discussions we now have online this week. Thanks once again, everybody. And there are still a couple of questions. Actually, I would like to invite Iris, Elizabeth, and Anders, if they still have time, to look at the questions in the chat, and they can respond directly to the people who asked the question. If not, then we can always also transfer the questions later on by email to you, so that people who still want to know more can get an answer. Thanks very much, and hope to see you again, either online, but preferably in person. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you in Prague next year.
Bye.